Hello, my name is Melanie Wesley, and welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. On today's episode, we are joined by Mario McDowell, a senior hairstylist and platform artist with over 20 years of experience in the beauty industry. In this episode, we discuss the importance of client experience in the salon industry and how beauty schools often focus more on technical skills rather than on the business aspect. Mario emphasizes the need for hairstylists to find their own niche and make clients feel special. We also discuss the challenges and rewards of being a hairstylist, including the importance of passion, dedication, and financial planning. Mario shares his own journey in the industry and offers valuable insights for aspiring hairstylists. I hope that you find key takeaways from our conversation with Mario, and I am forever grateful to you for lending me your ear. Until next time, be good, be true, be you. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Salon Social. My name is Melanie Wesley, and today we have a very, very special guest. Today we have Mr. Mario McDowell joining us today, and he is an amazing person. Mario and I met back in 2017, and we can go into that story shortly, but I just wanted to kind of give him his flowers while he's on the call with us. He's a local 798 union member. He's a senior hairstylist and platform artist, an educator for over 20 years. As I mentioned, that's where I met Mario. He's been, educating for 20 years in the industry. He's been featured on the American Salon magazine as well as the Modern Salon magazine, highlighting so many of his talents and career achievements. And Mario is a very creative and artistic artist, and he is just an amazing person altogether. And Mario, welcome to the Salon Social. Yeah.
Thank you for having me at the Salon Social. And congratulations on your podcast. That's pretty cool. I'm happy to see that you're doing something super exciting and be on the chair.
Thank you so much for that, Mario.
Still talking about the love and the passion of the industry. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. So I really wanted to create this podcast as a way to help, up and coming artists as well as seasoned veterans, and just to kind of remind them of, how we got to kind of take it back to the basics when it comes to the industry, because I've heard so many stories recently and for several years now, just how the experience in the salon industry has really kind of fallen and just kind of taken a dive in the opposite direction of where it needs to be going. And so I know you and I met in 2017 when I attended Aveda Institute of Arts and Sciences here in Atlanta. And I just kind of wanted to get your perspective and your opinion on, the whole industry as in itself, like when you kind of go through the cosmetology school and what is taught in there and how it really correlates to like client experiences. Because in my experience, I didn't really get a lot of the business aspect of the industry. It was more sort of like preparing for, giving you the techniques and then preparing for state boards to make sure that you kind of, get your first start and get, started right in the industry by knowing those techniques. But the business aspect of it all is kind of missing, I feel, in the industry. But just based on your opinion, what do you think? Why do you think beauty schools don't teach the importance of client experience when it comes to the service part of what we do?
That's a tricky question when you ask it in that way. And I say in the sense of, because I do believe that schools do teach about the client experience. I know that when I was at a beta, one of the importance was you remember we showed you guys how to do the massage of the hands and the scalp and the shoulders, and then, offer
That's
those
right.
extra incentives because you want to make an experience. That's how you create retention with your client. As long as you can create an experience, people will remember how you made them feel. And they always want to get that feeling, and then they'll come back. And so, unfortunately, the driving force behind most schools are either usually product retention, if it's like a brand such as the one I was working for, or if it's more so to do just that, prepare you for a state board. And this is why I was especially the importance that when you go into a beauty school, you're going to learn a lot of different things. The number one thing that you want to take away from your beauty school experience is, the necessities to pass state board.
Yeah.
And, because it requires 15,000 hours to master one thing. And you guys are there for a couple of months. And so the goal is to prepare you to prepare you to excel as well as pass that state board exam, but it also is to motivate you and then give you the fundamentals that you'll need when you get back into the industry. I'm a firm believer that once you leave beauty school, you should still take more classes. You should still, learn more. A lot of times when students come into beauty schools, everybody wants to come in and immediately want to know the techniques that's going to make them a ton of money. Nobody wants to know how to properly hold a comb, or how to properly flat down the curl hair, or how to properly, add a chemical to someone's hair. They want to immediately just jump into the grit of it. And so that's a whole nother thing that we're battling whenever, students do come into the schools and want to, go on this path of becoming a beautician or a hairstylist. And, like I said, everything's touched on when you go to beauty school. You can learn the fundamentals. But more than anything, the driving force when you go to beauty school are the safety, the sanitation, and the things that you need to pass state board. Even though usually, I'm not gonna lie, in my experience, when we did talk about the business aspect of it, that was like a short course of, putting you in the business mind. We even have like a speaker that will come out and solely just tap on that, and we'll express the importance of, going forward. And then the experience whenever you get to that master floor and engaging with those clients, that's your experience right there. That's your practice time. That's your time to put in your customer service, figure out what type of, it helps you get comfortable with how you express yourself with your clients. It lets you know how to speak to them. It lets you know if it puts you in a situation where if somebody's unhappy, if something goes wrong, you can get that hands-on experience on how to deal with that and to get this client to come back, because at the end of the day, if they're happy and satisfied, they're more likely to tell a friend. They're also more likely to come back and see you again as well.
Absolutely.
But, like I said, that's why I say it's kind of a tricky question, because I think that the schools do, touch on that. However, it's not a driving force when you're going to beauty school to focus on that. But I mean, it is touched on, and then be mindful. You get out of what you put into it. So when you're on that floor and you're actually touching these people, you're getting a hands-on experience on how do I get someone to come back to come see me.
Absolutely. And like with like as you mentioned, Aveda did teach us techniques as far as, making sure that the client is comfortable, offering hand massages, that sort of thing. But I don't know if a lot of other beauty schools approach it in that way. And like most things, once you learn it in school, like you leave school and then you just kind of it just kind of goes out the window from one area into the next. But you're right in your point that it is important to kind of, explore other options outside of beauty school to kind of help build on top of what you've already learned through going through school. And that master floor is like so imperative, like to your learning, because it really does give you that one-on-one real-time interaction with the client to kind of help you better prepare for your own business if that's what you choose to do, or just working in a salon with other people on a regular basis. So have you ever can you provide like some tips just off the cuff, like of ways that you can really help to improve your client experience for those clients when they come in?
You know what the crazy thing about that is, I was telling someone recently about how I love how innovative a lot of the new generation is, and then the access that they have with social media. I think that in that regards, I mean, I can tell you, of course, great customer service experience, do this, trick this, and even sometimes it's your own personal niche. Saying because it's your vibe, it's your personality that they're building off of. And, usually you want the experience to start like as soon as first of all, when they book the appointment, if it's over the phone, but as soon as they walk through the door, the experience should start then, especially depending on, how much you're charging for these services, and God knows that, hair costs.
Exactly.
But I want to say, find out your way of making your client feel like they're very special. Find your way of making them feel like they're very important to you. And if that's, greeting them at the door, letting them unload, sometimes they just want to talk. I've had a lot of clients that really just want to come and talk.
Right.
I'm so serious. There's one client in particular. I'm like, girl, I just did your hair this week. Like, you're good. And she's like, no, I just feel like I need it. And she just wants to come and just talk. But, I didn't realize that she doesn't have anybody she can talk to or she can express herself to.
Absolutely.
And I'm open without being judgmental and be mindful not every response deserves a response. And sometimes it's okay just to sit there and listen. And, a lot of them have to go through their journey because hairstylists are psychiatrists too, but therapists too.
Absolutely.
So everyone wants to tell us everything that's going on with them while we're in their head. But I mean, I couldn't tackle on one thing because customer service is customer service, and people, like I said, they will always remember how you make them feel. If you can find your niche that works for you, that helps your personality shines, and helps you show this person or makes this person feel special, and then for them to know that you're the one that does that for them. I have a friend of mine that's a hairstylist, and I'm just not starting to get into candles, but she loves. And when you walk to her salon, it's a whole aroma experience. And I've learned that everyone that comes, they want to come, they love coming there because it's like such a vibe for them when they smell all these candles. Absolutely. And for someone like me, I'm like, it's a bit overwhelming. And she's like, oh, but my clients love this.
Yes.
It's like so soothing. It's such a cool environment. And there's another young lady where if you go to her shampoo area, it's almost like being in a spa. And so, she lays them back, there's soothing music, it's kind of blocked off where you can hear all the noise and everything from the front room. So when you're in the shampoo bowl, it's like completely relaxing. And so these people have found their niches and things that work for them. And they invested in that, and they created like an environment that would draw a certain type of clientele to them. So, everyone has their niche and things that they're good at, they can put out there. I think that, goes back to the person. Everything for me is about passion when it comes to hair. And if you don't have a passion in it, then you're not going to find your way around it, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. That is so important because the business can be so hard on you if you don't have that passion and that drive, you're not going to have longevity in the business. So it definitely starts with that. But it's true what you said when it came to when you talk about niches, like you can't just, just create something that you see somebody else do because you have to have that passion. It has to speak to you. It has to speak to your personality because if it doesn't, people can sense that. And so like really just honing into what it is that your thing is and what your niche is so that you can then attract your tribe to your salon and keep them is so important. So like, okay, so like entertainers, you've been in this business for a long time. Like, can you think of one time where you had like this just outrageous client or, somebody who just, really made it difficult? And how did you kind of overcome that experience for that person?
So I actually had a client that came in and this is where it's a guilty party on both sides of the situation. Well, I had a client that came in and I took down her install. And I had my assistant, shampoo her, but I made it very clear, say, hey, her hair is very porous. She's had her extensions in for like a long period of time. So, hair that has not had any moisture for a while, as soon as it touches anything, it's going to lock up.
Yes.
So I'm like, I said, what I want you to do is don't shampoo her first, rinse her. While she's already tamed, rinse her. Let's add a conditioner, and emulsify that. I said, but I need you to take your fingers and gently run through. Do not scrunch your hair. Just gently run through the ends and let that sit for a little bit. Then come back, rinse her. Then we'll shampoo her and go through the whole process. And I don't know if she got distracted or what the case was, but my her hair ended up locking up. And it tangled up really bad. And it was like a big old lock in the back of her head. And so it took literally, because, she's had finer hair.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to take our time and gently, detangle it without, calling in distress to her hair. And of course, she ended up getting some shedding and she was really upset. And so this is where I had to find myself in a situation where I didn't want to embarrass my assistant, but actually I had her come sit and watch and explain to her why I did not want her to do this. I wanted her to take accountability. And saying also to the client, which I also extended an apology to her. And then I offered her a deep conditioning treatment as well as a pre-trim. I had popped up with some champagne for her because
Yeah.
she came in town because she was one of the ones that was flying to town to come see me. So I popped up some champagne for her and then had ordered her some because I was about to have lunch after her, so I ordered my food early and then got her something. And like literally, by the time I had did her breakdown, she completely forgot how she was feeling. Like, she was having a good time. She called me my sister, "Hey babe, you mind like they friends and everything now?" But just in leave, she was over there with their hair lock. But you know, our goal at the end of the day as hairstylists, when people come in, we're like doctors. You know, there's an element. You know, can you treat it? I want to look. You know, I want to enhance my look. I want to change my look. I want to look beautiful. So they come in, and it's our goal to treat this element that they have. And so even though, I mean, as long as she's leaving happy, feeling beautiful, I think that's what matters at the end of the day with any client. And so let them be heard, take accountability, saying for your part in it as well. And like I said, it goes both ways because I hope this on my client should have been back, but she flies in and out. And so I'm like, I tell time that you can't get to me, take it down and go to a local stylist and get a shampoo blowout, something really simple till you get to me, but like never let it sit in that long.
No, but that is so true because like, I mean, what you said makes so much sense. Let the client be heard. Because so many times I hear horror stories where it's like, the stylist just doesn't show any empathy towards whatever it is that the client's going through. Because, with anything that you do in repetition, sometimes you can take certain situations for granted because you do it all the time. It's like second nature to you, but really like stopping and really like evaluating that situation for what it is, and then doing what it is that you need to do within reason to make sure that that client leaves happy and satisfied is the number one way to keep your clients coming back. Because what if you had, kind of just went off the rant and then just kind of, blamed it on the assistant and never rectified it and was, I'm too busy, then that client wouldn't have come back. And then not just that, but then your assistant would have felt horrible in that situation. But instead you turned it around, you turned it into a lesson for her. And then you helped the client, and the end result was her leaving happy and not even like remembering what the whole ordeal that she went through. So that is what I'm finding is missing a lot.
And literally 15 years later,
younger
she still flies into town to come see me to get her hair done.
Absolutely. And that's how you create retention. Like, seriously. Thank you for joining me for part 1 of this episode of the Salon Social Podcast. Tune in next Sunday for part 2. See you then.